random map. That's right, back on the random maps, and is nice pro games. Mostly pros, a few Joes sprinkled in there, some very on the edge Joes here, a couple of 1400s. So it's kind of like a Joe Pro game, but much nicer ranks. And yeah, let's have an introduction of the players. Random map, so don't know what to expect. The total reclaim to be had is 30,000. 10 match short of 30,000 for the reclaim. Plenty of it to go around. And let's say hello to the teams. We have Team 1 here at the top left hand side, Team 2 down here at the bottom right. Now that that's out of the way, let's introduce the players. Alrighty. First, for Team number 1, down here in white, it is Puck Jr. Puck Jr. has gone Seraphim. Beside Puck Jr. on the front, it is Wednesday, my dudes. And it really actually is Wednesday today. It's Wednesday, my dudes. At least it's Wednesday for me. If it's not Wednesday for you, fuck off. Nah. Anyway, he's Aeon, and he's in the green color, getting his work on. And beside him at the front, the final front player for team number 1, it is Citrus 984 in a very applicable orange color for Citrus. Right behind them, in the purple color at the back, UEF, it is U Porcupine, and I know I'm going to say Porcupine at some point, so U Porcupine is here, he's UEF in purple. And finally, for team number 1, in the burgundy color, is a Cybran, it is Okpuck. So we have Okpuck here, and then we have Puck Jr. over here. Whether or not they're actually related, I have zero idea, and he's stalling. Yeah, 1100 stalling on that. He built his 5th mass extractor, which was the mistake, not even be able to float off any from his teammates. Not the greatest start there for that ranking. So Puck Jr., I want to sort that next time he's around. Okay, team number 2. First off, for team number 2, down here on the bottom in a bright pink color, it is Villa1. Villa1 has finished his hydro, getting some pigeons down, and looks like a second land factory. Beside him in the mid all the way up here, light blue, walking his way forward, it is Darunda. Darunda is UEF on his way. Here, Okpuck's an old name, but Puck Jr. is kind of new. Up from them in green color, it is Megavirus. Megavirus, not content to be a standard virus, he's going to be a Megavirus. He's in the green iron color. Down from him at the back, lavender color, it is Mr. MSG, whose comm is walking away to the front. There he is, on his merry stomping way towards the mid to grab some extra reclaim. And finally, for team number 2, in cyan, as Cybran, it is Peepo Noob, and his comm is also going for walkies. So there we go, the teams are reasonably balanced. We've got 1520 to 1540, 93% balance on this game, and we are looking pretty good. Lowest rated players are 1100, that is Puck Jr. and Megavirus. The highest rated player is Okpuck at 2200. The next highest is 1800 MSG, but then the next two 1700s are both on team 2. So team 1 is very much going to be reliant on Okpuck doing a bit of a carry and at least giving advice. And indeed, Okpuck is actually going up against some teammates. The WWs are on opposing teams. Righty-ho. Let's have a gander. Now, the map itself, some reclaim all around the place. We have a few of these items, just like random ridges to break up the flow of units and get some kind of semi-choke point things going on. But all this ice all around us, nice and ready to grab. Some of us not even being tagged as reclaim. It doesn't even register on the reclaim totals. You actually have to get a bit further out for it to be seen. So 30k reclaim, maybe a little bit more with those tiny rocks. Okay, gun upgrade going down for Puck Jr. First upgrade of the day. As far as combat units go, we have, this is a flare for Megavirus. Needs to just take a wee short hop and a shuffle down this direction to kill off this engineer. It's right there beside him. What's the range on that thing? Not enough. Needs to go just that tiny bit closer. Sees it, it's going to shoot at it. The turret's turned, and the shots are off, and now it's out of range again. Ah, that's unfortunate. Needs to just move that a little bit. Could have killed an engineer. Instead, it's going to sit there and die. Alright, raid up this direction. It is Citrus. Moved on through with a few Mantis and is going to knock off an engineer there and then proceed to kill some mass extractors. Nothing on the ground really for Megavirus. In fact, nothing on the ground at all to slow those. Where's his comm? His comm's sitting in the base building another building and air factory. And now he finishes that and should be on his way. He's got to stop those with something. He's got nothing on the ground. Indeed, he's got nothing on the ground over here. They're trying to get a factory up with a couple of engineers and more units coming on in. So some early T1 raiding. They've finally got that engineer. Some T1 raiding from Citrus, and that is a problem for Megavirus, who's on the back foot already. Checking out the other side of the map, and it is... oh, this is Vela1, moved up with his commander, now just kind of standing there, thumb up his butt, doing nothing. Back here, the upgrade is on the way for Puck Jr. No, the upgrade is finished for Puck Jr. It's good to go. Sensor upgrade for Wednesday, my dudes. And that's going to be handy for spotting sneaky stuff trying to sneak around. It's a nice big omni sensor area. It's like Vela1 is supported by units, so he's all well and good. We have Noob up here with his comm. Looks like he just wanted to grab some reclaim with his commander whilst he worked on his air grid. Has T2 air already and has started on a T2P gen. Check his opponent. How's he doing? Well, he's nowhere near. 50% done on the T2 upgrade. Needs to get a wee bit more. Needs to get his gear on, but T2 is done for Ogpark, and he started his T2. Yeah, do we have T2 air for... well, not much assistance on that from MSG. He's decided he needs to get his eco up a little bit more. Maybe he does, but the air factory won't be too far off. Up the top here, and here we go. That raid is being really raiding and annoying. Megavirus is having problems with Citrus, and the Orange Swarm has done its thing and just really pegged him back that little bit. You see the area. He has got a small hold up here. He's got a radar, he's got a tier 1 PD, and maybe he doesn't want to push out with these units into a commander. Not upgraded. Your Porcupine's comm has not been upgraded. Maybe they want to send them up here and stop these engineers grabbing this reclaim. Look at that. A bunch of reclaim. This engine's just going to get free stuff on there. Isn't Aurora though. That's going to shoot it away. Take care of that. Okay, commander walks into these units. Going to walk into a T1 PD shortly. And T1 bombers overhead. They're going to have a go at things as well. And there we go. T1 PD says hi. Commander goes, yeah, maybe not. But here comes Citrus. The two comms together should be easily a match for the T1 PD. In fact, one comm would be a match for a T1 PD if there's nothing supporting it. So easy for these guys to get in and clean that space out. Down here, Megavirus is going to have some issues with units not being much. He's got T2, so that could be useful. And down the bottom, I'm hearing that gun comm. There we go, the Seraphim from Puck Jr. And he is having a go, and it's going to really force, well, definitely going to have to fall back. There's no way that Vela1 can face off against that comm without, well, with just units. Auroras especially, they're going to have a problem. Gun upgrade done for Noob. Gun is stealth. And now Vela1, who already has the range upgrade, is grabbing speed on his comm there. Commanders having to go to each other. It is Ogpark and MSG saying hi. Two Sovereign Commanders having to go, but it is MSG who's going to have to pull back due to the engineers support coming in from Wednesday. And he's going to have to drop back a bit faster than that. He's dropping back towards Noob. Very handy. Going to get that support there that he needs, and Noob is going to help clean up these units quite well. MSG, well, he needs to twist and dodge and turn away, but try and avoid some of that Aurora fire. And looks like it's going to be okay with the support from Noob coming on in. Down on the bottom, alright, the dual colour from Puck and Wednesday, quite handy. Puck Jr. needs to be careful now because Vela1 is there with Guncom and units. Up the top, that fight has gone about as expected. The T1 PD is gone, the factory is gone, everything's gone, and nothing doing for the rest of it. Gun upgrade going down for Citrus. Gun upgrade going down for Megavirus. He has first half, he's getting the second half just about done. So that gun comm will be good to go and going to be supported by T2 units. There we go. I saw the factory. Yep, some shields coming out. Maybe some flak going to follow after that to help keep his commander alive from air snipes. But there we go. Gun upgrade done just in time for Megavirus. Desperately needed as these units are tracking down from Citrus. Mantis going to clean up some of these mass extractors along the way, and he's going to be able to shoot these guys away, get himself a nice rank of veneracy on the same path, but still two commanders up here to try and contend with. Going to need support. His teammate down here, Darunda, who has gun upgrade as well, is just kind of holding the middle, getting some extra eco down there. Down the bottom, it is 2 versus 1 for Puck Jr., although not really, because Wednesday is in the region with some units, and his commander's back here. He's got T2 and sensors, so he can actually start working on some T2 PD. He can see what's coming, and he knows how to take care of that. That stealth upgrade for People Noob won't do that well. Wednesday Dude will be able to see him well within range, thanks to that sensor upgrade. Alrighty, fellow one, just picking off units, and why not? Use your commander to tank the damage and kill things off, get ranks veterancy, get the region going on. That'll be absolutely fine, but T2 PD is going to be a thing to be concerned about, especially if Wednesday starts stacking them up in groups of like 3 or 4. Okay, in the middle it is Darunda just picking up some engineers, no dramas on that front. Over on this side it is Megavirus. He's managed to push back with his comm somewhat, reclaim some ground. He's got the T2 shield following him around, and yep, there is flak indeed, so making sure he's not going to get sniped too easily. T1 bombers are cutting off the engineers, grabbing the reclaim. Where? There we go. There's U-Pork behind his comm. He's decided he's had enough and he's dropping back from the front. Probably a wise idea. No upgrades on that guy, so there's not much he can do. Right, 10 minutes in and it must be T3 air time. Yes, it is T3 air for U-Pork Pine, working on his first T3 PGen. We have T3 air already up and running for Okpak. He's got the PGen up and air is on the way. Check out their opponents down here. T3 air is on the way for People Noob as well. He also has the T3 PGen going and it's all up and handy. And there we go, MSG also in the building a T3 PGen stage, so fairly even as far as the air goes. Both these guys going to be coming out about the same times. Down here though, it is Vela1, and he's running to the T2 PD. He's running out of units, and he's going to need to run away from all of this before he gets swarmed by all of these Thans. Though People Noob has turned up with this commander as well, so it's a 2 versus 1 comm and army. 2 comms versus comm and army. Kind of think that balance maybe, well, possibly. Actually, no, that looks like it is an issue for Vela1. He's going to need to try and take out as many units as possible with this commander here, taking a bunch of damage. If he can stay out of range of Puck Jr., he'll be fine. Just needs to walk away in a straight line, stay out of range of the comm while picking off the units. And People Noob needs to assist, he needs to get his commander in and take these down, and that is actually going to be okay for Vela1 now. He's managed to clean up enough units, still unhealthy, so does not want to get caught, and really needs to finish off as many units as possible. People Noob helping out there. T1 PD slapped up by MSG, not going to be that useful because there's T1 RT in the mix, but the units are now depleted for Puck Jr., and his decision is, I'm not going to carry on pushing that, which he absolutely cannot, but perhaps he can grab some mass while he's there. Standing in a giant mass field of units, and he is fallen right on back. Up this direction, you can see Wednesday Dude has decided to just maybe pop down a wee bit with Firebase. There's a bunch of T2 PD there. He can move on forward and help get a scout on, and maybe get some more T2 PD down here for denial straight away. Maybe due to anticipation, Okpak says, oh mass, I'm going to grab some of that, and he's already dropped engineers to start picking up wrecks. So he wasn't involved in the fight, but he's going to reclaim. Let's check up the other side, and it is now, well, there's T2 on both sides, rocket bots for Citrus versus the, well, we've got Blazers and T2 PD going down, so Megavirus, he's got NGs up there. He's brought us some T2 engineers, keeping his commander as a combat unit with the double gun, and that is going to keep things alive there for the time being. In the middle it is Darunda. He's just got some units here. He looks like he's mostly focusing on eco at this rate. He's got much on the ground at all, and in fact his commander is walking down this way to assist in this direction. Puck Jr. getting some hammering from Vela1, and he's down into the yellow and dropping away. He'll be able to start shooting back shortly. There we go. And Vela1 doesn't really want to be pushing that too much. He's down into the yellow as well. All that T2 PD will definitely make him think about not pushing that. People noobs in the area as well. T1 support coming in, so Parker Jr. is just keeping up that for the moment. How's his echo? Well, he's got T3 land. That land factory is good to go, but he doesn't really have... I don't know if he's got the eco to support it. T3 upgrade on the way for Wednesday, and up here we have still not T3 on the way for Citrus as well. So 1 T3 land and 2 on the way. Compare that to the other side, we have T2, T3 on the way, and T3 air, sorry, wrong person, and T2. So only one person making a transition to T3 land for Team 2, and that's Darunda. And that's going to be a while away while these guys are all getting their T3 land. We have this one half done, this one just about done, 2 3/4, and T3 is of course done for Parker Jr. Alright, this direction. And Darunda maybe doesn't want to do that. Pushing up with his commander, but pushing up into T2 PD, a whole bunch of it, and a gun-com. Not the best idea for commanders to do, but does have the support of Paper Noob, and that means Parker Jr. needs to be careful.
Commander under attack.
They have radar, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe they... Well, they must have radar somewhere because they can see all of that, so somebody's got it. And Parker Jr. taking an absolute battering. Going to get himself into shields and get away just. Darunda cannot continue to chase that. People who cannot afford to chase that either. There's just too much damage coming off of these T2PD. And with Parker Jr. getting away under the shields, he shall be completely and utterly safe now. And these comms are all heavily damaged, or all about half damage I should say. No way they can continue to push that. But they have that area, and they can then do what they like with that particular section. Have a check up this way. There's been a push of some form. Yes indeed, those T1 units rocking in from Darunda, trying to get some work done, but they get picked up by the T2 gunships from Mr. Porcupine. I'm going to always pause before saying that name, because I endeavour that I will get it absolutely wrong. This direction it is Megavirus. He doesn't have a lot of support. I'll take that back. He's got plenty of units. A lot of static PD. That's not a bad idea really. Too much static PD, of course, it just gets skirted around and outranged and you can't do anything with it. So a lot of action is going on down here, and here we go. Mobile missile launchers. It had to be coming at some point. But here's a push coming through the mid. This is Parker Jr. deciding, okay, all you guys are down there. What have you got in this direction to stop things? And the answer is not a heck of a lot, but the units are stalling. It's going to give these guys a chance to catch up. And indeed, they've got nothing really to slow them down. If they decide to push through this way, they're going to be able to get a lot done. Okay, what special things are happening? T3 air for Pork, who's not even building anything? I am massively confused. What is Porcupine doing? He's doing the big old nothing. The big old nothing with the nothing. And, sorry, I take that back. He's upgrading his mixes. He was upgrading his mixes. Want to get his eco sorted. Fair enough. Ockpark is expanding his air grid. Got some more air along the way. T3 land is still, well, half on the way for Parker Jr. Getting himself, words, T3 PGN, whatever you call power reactor. And over here T3 land is in play for Wednesday, my dudes. And T3 land is in play for Citrus as well, and also working himself on an iron reactor. Alrighty, let's have a gander at Team 2, see how they're going. Well, the spam continues on Valor 1. He's sticking to the T2 for the moment, really using his commander a lot, and the mobile missile launchers are going to start trying to crack on that, although there has been a laser upgrade for Ockpark. Stealth and laser upgrade. Okay, is he just stalling through that? No, he's not. He's not. Well, yes and no, he's kind of stalling through the power, but he's got a lot of power to do it with. And that is a laser upgrade on the way at 17 minute mark. Interesting choice. I'm hearing tech missiles. There we go. So 2 tech launchers here, and 2 tech launchers, tech missiles, can kill an unupgraded commander on, or an injured commander, and that's going to be something they need to actually not stand still for. Did they notice them come in? I don't know if they did, but they're ready to launch another salvo. Laser upgrade going down for Piponu. But the attack missiles are launching again. Valor 1 is not going to survive those if it hits. Piponu definitely won't. They're coming in and they're going to hit here. And they do. Valor 1 just short. It was just short of that magical 12k health mark. If he had a little bit more, he would have survived those tack launches, but as it was, great cap there. Nice snag, and Valor 1 pops out of the game thanks to cheeky tack missiles from Wednesday, my dudes. Oof, that hurts. Now everything has been handed over to MSG, and MSG, what you gonna do with that? Well, you were getting laser as well, apparently. Although it is forced. Okay. Air is engaging. This is a deliberate engage. So this is Okpak's charging it with his ASCFs, trying to catch the Piponoob's ASCFs, which are on the ground, but there's an air rumble going on now, and it is Piponoob plus MSG trying to take on the ASCFs of Okpak. So those were the units we saw handed over just before, so that meant Okpak was in control of the air wing. All is one. Very even fight, but in the end it is Okpak who is forced to retreat. And I still think it's a very even game. I don't think it was completely won. Not completely won, but definitely a very nice little fight there. Very even. No clear victor from that little wee air rumble. Over this direction, Megavirus getting an upgrade on his commander, grabbing a shield, because why not? Shields are handy. And he does have, that looks like a T2 artillery, lobbing its shells over, smacking down here and popping some area damage. T3 lander cores from Citrus, that is going to be a concern for Megavirus. Does he have T3 land? Well, he does now. I'm hearing Titans. Very distinctive noise from those Titans, and they're just going to clean up these T1 units here. Auroras especially, they're just not going to have a chance against these guys. They're going to get brutalized into scrap metal that easily. Over this direction, we are now getting a unit push in from Puck Jr. Couple of Othams leading the charge. They're going to run into some T1 PD here. There's some more tech missiles coming through. T1 PD is not going to last long though, because those Othams are a little bit higher and they can shoot over the walls. They will also come down a hill, so no dice done on that front. They're distracted at the moment by a point defense. This, yep, Eruptor's going to have the same issue. Gets absolutely obliterated. And of course, speaking of obliteration, Puck with a stealth laser gun, so only stealth, you can be seen and killed quite easily by air, as opposed to being cloaked and completely invisible. He has to have his air wing though, which will sweep through and keep things alive. And this is a bit of a problem. There's a couple of Percy up here though, and some Titans are going to clean up those, but the siege tanks are the issue, so they need to try and deal with. Laser on the way still for MSG. It's getting there. At the top, there's been a massive push there from Citrus trying to bypass this group of units, but Megavirus, he has his comm in the region as well, and of course overcharges from that will help clean up units as well. It does have the shield, so very tanky for the time being, but that's a lot of T3 units in front of him, and he's going to need to be cautious. The T2 PD up here trying to help out. The units down here get stunned every time the Loyalist dies. Like that, and there goes all the stun, and he's going to need to think about falling back perhaps, although it's only down to Loyalist. No bricks left in this mix. A few gunships loitering around, but there is flak, maybe? Nope, no anti-air. He'll be okay for now. Down this direction, the siege tanks have been... oh, they stopped here actually. They didn't carry on pushing. They stopped back there and they're good to go. They're going to see about taking on all of this. Some Loyalists and Harbingers in the mix. They're going to shoot things away. There was a Percival somewhere. Lots of Percy, don't see it. There's some Cougars. They're going to be able to tickle anything out of the sky. And I say tickle, I mean like absolutely blap. The rapid fire Gatling anti-air guns on those are fine. Back up this direction. It is Megavirus who's been forced to fall back. The shield has gone there. The T2 PD is still around, but the Loyalists are being particularly problematic. And they're going to clean this section up before these units can actually get in and support. Blaze turns up, gets stunned immediately by dying loyalist. Megavirus, nice, good amount of veterancy, nice health pool, but does need to be careful in the face of T3. This direction, I hear the siege tank still going on and has run into some personal problems. Only 120 health left for that one, and down goes the Otham, but still meandering around is Okbak. Remember, just a stealth comp, can't be seen on radar, but can be seen visually, so anything flies over, he'll get spotted. That is a big risk move. Okay, laser going on from People Noob. MSG already has laser. It could be an interesting little double up there. Up the top section, it is Megavirus, but he's managed to keep his miasma alive. Brings along a mobile T3 RT as well, and there's an engineer to build a shield if the RT will get out of the way. Any second now. There we go. But it is the T3 Loyalist swarm coming over this way. There is a Harbinger in the mix, and the Harbinger 1-to-1 does fine against Loyalists, but it's not 1-to-1. There's way more Loyalists than there are Harbingers, and that's going to be a problem for it to try and repel. Almost lonesome, especially when they get in range, and this is going to be a dead Harvey. This group is already basically into Mr. Megavirus's base, and these loyalists, a whole 12 of them, are going to make very short work of defenses there, and maybe some point defense would be an idea. Another Harbinger trying to get some work done, and it's going to kill off a couple of loyalists before getting overrun. But here we go, there's some T1 PD going up now. That is going to be maybe a little bit too late. This is the main base of Megavirus, having loyalist problems right in there. They're going to kill off build power, they're going to kill off eco, they're going to destroy PGens, and there's an HQ that will be under threat as well. If they focus that down, down goes the shield gen, down goes the power, some extra explosions here, and right into the mass extractors. Harbinger here trying to do its thing. T1 PD is up and trying to do things as well, but he's losing eco all over the place. Look at this all go down. Megavirus just having all sorts of problems. Even as that goes on, there's been a push up the top by more loyalists, and he has been forced to retreat his commander. Cannot stand while that is pushing on up. Where's his comm all the way back here? And these loyalists are finishing off basically everything. Only a couple of PGs left. 5 core mixes down. All 5 core mixes are done for Megavirus, and he's now totally going to be struggling on the eco front. This direction, we see there's a single renegade, particularly away as some Percivals, but some ACFs turn up to take that out. We have Gun Splash coming up for Puck Jr., so he's going into a full-on combat comm as well. That splash upgrade is terribly brutal for anybody. This loyalist managed to sneak away, kill off the other T2 PGs. That is going to be Megavirus very much struggling on the eco front. Not too bad actually. Not stalling as of yet, but he is very much surviving on the surplus power from his teammates. And now up this direction there were a few Serenities, not for very much longer. Loyalists say hello to them, even though the T1 PD is basically being ignored right now. As soon as they're gone, we're going to turn around and get absolutely hammered, and see you later. So Megavirus is absolutely struggling up the top right now. Completely overrun. Just, we had that little wee static base there, but it got just ignored, and his main base got turned into, well, his main base got turned into reclaim, and he's going to have to rebuild, and rebuild fast. But this direction, how are we doing on that gun upgrade? Well, about 2/3 done there. Where is Okpak there with his comm? He's a wee bit injured, but he is max vet, 50 kills. Very dangerous guy, loitering around. Lots of loyalists. Is it just loyalist spam from Citrus? It really is. Loyalists all day, every day, and he's just going for the mobility. So rather than go for the bricks, which are tougher and have better range, he is going for the loyalist spam, and have to say it's probably working against Harbingers. So whenever you have a loyalist close to your unit and it dies, it puts out a stun effect, and just for a couple of seconds your unit can't do a thing. Like that. And it just cuts your DPS down horribly, but now Percival's and Loyalists really struggle against Percival's. That extra range, the high alpha, only takes a couple of shots to kill one. You got one shot and it's over half dead. So Percivals really do counter Loyalists quite heavily. Okay, I hear fighting down here. Sort of. I see a bunch of Harbingers moving around, and Okpak may be fine. He does have that massive chest laser, and apparently he's got a giant pair of balls as well to go with it, because he did that really early. And Puck Jr. now has the, well, he has the gun upgrade, starting nano repair on his comm. That maybe doesn't need the advanced nano, just the standard nano should do for now. Get that completed, he'll be fine and dandy. They can then start having to go down here. Cloaking on the way for Peepo Noob, so he's got the laser as well, but he's going for cloaking on his comm. Wonder if that will make enough of a difference. Up this direction it is now Bricks versus Titans, and just as the Percival obliterates Loyalists, so too do Bricks reduce Titans to trash. But now these forces are just kind of consolidating themselves a little bit, turning into groups rather than spreading things all over the place. But here, in the other direction, again, more Loyalists coming in, so that has been a distraction and has paid off quite well, and it's going to mean Darunda has to try and split his forces. Does he help defend Megavirus's base? Does he go for that? But down this direction I'm hearing it, and oh dear, that's what he went for. MSG went for a tally, and he's actually done huge amounts of damage. Huge amounts of damage. He's turned Okpak's base into all sorts of wreckage, and he was having a great go throughout Porcupine's base, but critically hasn't taken out all of the power or the HQ of Porcupine. But that was a very good tally. Lots of damage done there. We completely missed it while all this was going on. And there we go. You can see that Citrus has pushed back this way with his units, and the Loyalists are through, but there are Percivals to ruin their day. But this direction, what is happening? Well, we have some Zuis trying to sneak past, but they've been met by some Harbingers. They're going to have a bad day. We have Okpak and Puck Jr. ready to walk on forwards. Okpak with his laser comm course, and Puck Jr. with the extra advanced gun upgrade, so extra damage coming off there. Fat Boy has been completed here by Darunda, and that's going to be a huge help, but maybe not so much. And this is Megavirus. His command is standing out in the middle of nowhere. Plenty of support behind him, but he needs to think about moving maybe closer, because he's taken a ton of damage there. Some overcharges would not go amiss. He needs to try and get himself under some shields, although the Loyalists are running out, as they didn't stop to shoot him. They went straight past looking for the base. I think they could have actually killed him there had they stopped and focused, but they chose to not, and that is done for. The Loyalists are gone, and is Darunda doing a good job of keeping things alive. Air battle over this way. It is Peepo Noob taking out a whole host of transports. Maybe they plan to drop something, but there is nothing left to drop. Yeah, when comes back from Okpak, there's not much left on that, and it's probably okay for Peepo Noob to loiter for a little bit longer. But there's experimental done for Puck Jr. Chicken walking on the way. And there's down here all the T1 artillery having to go, but it's Harbinger Day, and Harbingers will scoop those guys off left, right and centre. Where has the Fat Boy gone? Well, the Fat Boy has gone north because, yep, Megavirus needs that support. The air wing from Peepo Noob just sitting around now, not great to stay in the range of a bunch of SAMs. Time to evacuate. Be nowhere near that. But that is actually an air win for Peepo Noob. He controls the skies and can maybe now think about doing some extra damage with what he has. But he has to be worried about the ground as well. Cloaking is virtually done for his comm. Once that's done, he's going to have a commander that can rival Okpak. Novak's on the way for Darunda. GC on the way for Megavirus, albeit slowly. He's got a lot of rebuilding to do. And he's getting there. gradually getting there, but there's still a lot he's lost. Right, Fat Boy now has this nice big army up this way to have a go at. And the standard response to Fat Boy is T2 artillery. There's a whole line of it has now been chosen to be selected up there, and Fat Boy doesn't want to push too much, just enough to get rid of some of the edge of the units, throw down some damage, force them on back. Reinforcements can keep with the Fat Boy to stop it being rushed. It will be all good. But here's the problem. It is a Yathota. And they will have seen it because the air basically just flew past it. Plenty of radar from somewhere. I don't know where, but they have radar signatures, so somebody... Ah, there we go. There's an Omni back there from Peepo Noob. So, yep. They are very much aware that there is a chicken coming in. There's a massive tac bank here, so Wednesday Dude deciding he's going to try it again with tac launches, but he's not going to get much done on that front. GC is trying to be built by Peepo Noob, but that's not going to get much done. In come the Corsairs. Just have a go at the Yathota and do some extra damage. Plenty of them coming off the production lines. And the Yathota, well, probably just needs to ignore them right now. Some flak back there which will help take him out there. Some mobile flak which can be pushed up to help. T1 PD rocking up and doing some extra damage as well because the Yathota is busy shooting at the Harbingers. The T1 PD has a grand old time doing some extra damage. Basically being ignored by the chicken. Now the Harbingers having to go as well. Finally it dies. T1 Mobile RT takes care of that. Air Wing Interceptors coming in, and there we go. That is Peepo Noob saying hello with his comm. And because he's cloaked, but that's a dangerous place to be, right beside where the lightning storm's going to come up. Will the lightning storm ignore the cloaking? I don't think it does. He seems to be okay, but he's not staying there anyway. Doesn't really want to be anywhere near that. And he's finished off, got himself a few ranks of accuracy doing that. Wednesday finishes off his experimental, which is... what's he built? GC, so that's Wando. GC has built an Omni. It's the only experimental that does, if I remember correctly, ground experimental. So that's a cloaked Cybran commander, can't do much against that. Over the side, it is now Fat Boy, and there's plenty of T2 here. It does not want to push this. We'll have a terrible time getting hammered by all of that. Down the bottom, the T1 artillery spam, Medusas ahoy. Occupark just building our T1 factories and sending these. They're really irritating. Not particularly dangerous, they're just irritating. Single interceptor fires on pass, just starts. I don't know why it's being ignored. There we go, Corsairs turn around, blap it out the skies. Some renegades, they're a good thing to do, and there goes Peepo Noob with his lasercom. Sorry, laser. Is it maze refusing teleporting? No, it's telemaze. Anyway, so Maze.com just cleaning up those quite happily all day, every day. This direction you can see the Fat Boy is already been picked on by the T2 and needs to turn around pronto before it runs into all of this, and the T2 artillery turns it into scrap. A very big piece of scrap. Oh, no. No. Titans are made for skirmishing, usually against lower tech units. You move them in, you fight and you drop back, because they shields, they do recharge of course, but Percival's outrange them, so by the time they get into range of Percival they'd already lost the shield and they're taking a big battering. Fat Boy is now in danger. These loyalists, as they die, they're stunning the Percivals, and that is reducing their DPS by a huge amount. And the Fat Boy can now be rushed. There are some Harbingers coming over to try and cover that. And now there's riot guns on the Fat Boy as well, having to go at the loyalists. The Harbingers are doing everything they can to try and keep it alive as well. Where was that GC? Nowhere near being finished. Shields are rushing out to try and keep the Fat Boy alive, or maybe the Harbingers. But this is fairly open. Fat Boy should be okay, and these lots start dropping back, and they're going to take bunches of damage as they clump up. And the Fat Boy has a go at anything of everything. Big mass field. Big mass field right here. Under the watchful eye of a bunch of T2 artillery, so it is very much in the hands of Citrus. That Matthew, quick look down the bottom, and there's been not much action actually. Kind of static. A bunch of renegades, they were doing something and they have been caught out by U Porcupine's air wing. But this direction, it is a GC standing still. Why is it standing still? It wants to move forward. It doesn't want to stay in range of T2 PD but not shoot back. It needs to move. Forwards or backwards, make your choice. And forwards it is, and it's now going to move into range, and this should clean out this little section here nice and easy. In fact, it gets control K'd by Wednesday. He doesn't want to give it extra venerancy. Nuke. Who has a nuke? Pipo Noob has a nuke, and what's it going for? It is going in this direction. I suspect it's coming up here and is looking to go for Citrus. Citrus is evacuating. He does not have SMD, and if that lands here, that's going to be a massive... What's it got? Okay, 0 kills. How much is that nuke going to collect? How much of this is just going to... Oh dear. Oh dear. Everything. Throwing a couple of T3 PGs very close though. Tiny pixel over, that one would have died as well. That nuke has just gone and taken itself 65,000 mass destruction, 118 kills. Down this direction we can see Fatboy is doing Fatboy things again, wanting to take on those T2 artillery. Not a great idea. Really cannot afford to let a second Fatboy is in the region to assist. Down the bottom, that GC has done... Where has the GC done? Has it died somewhere? What's it? No, it's down here. Trying to sneak around the edges. Trying to sneak around the edges, but it looks like it really is just focusing on taking out some of the mixers. Ah, here we go. GC on GC action. This one is a little bit damaged. Very close to... much closer to venerancy, but 1v1, it's going to have a bad time, but it's not going to be 1v1 because this one here has the support of T2PD. This GC is just going to, maybe just lodge there. Whalers coming over though, those can support it. Not much in the way of anti-air, couple of flak, but that's about it. Big air battle in the middle, this is very important, and it looks like he's going the way of team number 1 actually. Yes indeed, Pipo Noob has just lost the air battle between U Porcupine and Citrus. The air now belongs to team number 1, and that is a danger. Down here though, the Whalers are having to go at whatever they can, trying to kill off the GC somewhat, but so much AA. Look at it all. How many has he got there? 20 static, sorry, 20 mobile AA, a couple of SAMs, and a few static flags. Those Whalers never stood a chance. Never stood a chance. Just died a little inside watching that. Yeah, wow. Which part? The air loss or the Whalers getting wailed upon by anti-air? They got absolutely brutalized, and now it's a problem because the air can just do this. Take out the gunships, take out the Corsairs, kill what little air Pipo Noob has, and he doesn't have much in the way of AA on the ground actually. Oh, hello, teleport! Teleport coming in, that's going to be somebody, but there is a ton of T2PD here. I don't know if it's in range, but trying to spam someone. That is Okpak. Okpak saying hello with his comp, and he is in the back of the air grid. Gonna take out the point defense there, take out a bunch of the eco as well, and now he's in range of these Cerberus turrets. Wants to try and finish off the air grid. Moves away. Whaler comes in though, gonna need some air support for that. There are some ASFs over here, but they've been slowly chunked down. Not enough air support. Here come the rest of them from Porcupine, but maybe too late. Okpak is in range of a large number of Cerberus turrets here. He's not going to get much more done, but the air grid is absolutely down for Pipo Noob. There goes Okpak. His explosion actually takes out a bunch of friendly ASFs that were overhead. But have a look at what he's done. This air grid is gone. That's like half a dozen iron reactors, a whole bunch of T3 support factories. Fortunately, for Peepo Noob, this one remains alive. Critically, that is the HQ, so we can keep making air. And he still has some T3 engines, so we can start rebuilding. But 2 GCs are in play for Wednesday. Should have been happy with the corner and tallied out. Yeah, I think I would tend to agree with you on that. He got down there, he took out a lot of the grid. But then again, it is full share. So everything he had has gone over to somebody else. It's not as big a loss, and that's a satellite. I completely missed Dorinda making a satellite. I don't know what he's targeting. He's not going to get through those shields. They're overlapping and going to be fine. I think he needs to go around and find exposed things like this. Exposed mixers. Exposed commander. Crab. T3HQ. Iron reactors. Up here would be a much better target for that defense satellite. All this is under shields and plenty of it. That would be a good spot to go for. No shields at all. Kill off the iron reactors. Okay. That's where the fat boys. Where are the fat boys? Down here, 3 fatties down the bottom. That can cause a problem for just about anything. Big push through the middle, bunch of T3. Got Titans, Percival, some anti-air as well. I mean, you say for almost no gain, but again, all share. So I'd say it was a calculated risk, and so much was taken out. Let's be honest. And for 1 unit trade, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, the problem is in a high level game like this, after your first tally, then you're not usually going to get a second. Strap bombers, a whole bunch of them, coming out from New Porcupine, and those are going to do very well for cleaning up all of this. There are some Cougars back here, but not enough. I think you need like, is it 3-4 Cougars to kill strap bombers in one pass, and now the gunship's going to focus down the Cougars, and this lot is basically done for. No anti-air left, and Strat's going to come back and have a field day on those guys. Down this direction, it is all the fat boys. 3 fat boys, 2 GCs. It's time for them to just simply push on in. They have to get in and do something. Dorinda finishes another experimental. What's he done? Well, that's a second satellite, but here's the problem. That is T3RD. The question is, who's got that? Well, there we go. There's our answer. T3RT installation from Mr. Puck Jr. And that is going to be a problem to try and contend with. Very much a problem to try and contend with. Okay, but this is the extra problem. GC's fat boys going to wipe the face off this little wee bit here. Strats, of course, are going to be the issue though. What do they got for anti-air? The answer is nothing. There's nothing on the ground to slow them. Some ASFs do come in from Peepo Noob. Looks like they're going to try and pick up these strats. Maybe try and keep things alive. They do manage to skirt this air wing. Not bad. But they turn to fight the air wing. They should have gone for the strats. Kept the fat boys alive. They were going to. He's going to lose air anyway. Should have tried to kill as many of those as he could have. But now it is 2 GCs, 2 fat boys left. And they are running out of experimentals, running out of health. The strats, the gunships, they're going to do for all of this. And the next fat boy is not going to take much. They're very weak fat boys. Very weak. They don't take much damage, and the GCs are going to get extra hammering from the whalers, from the strap bombers. It's not going to be an even fight over here. This fat boy is out of range. He's getting closer. These satellites trying to help, but in the end it's just too much for them to try and handle. And that is basically all she wrote. This GC is going to go down. Maybe going to get the second one. The fat boy shells might finish it off.
Strategic launch detected.
Another new counts. Question is, where's it going? Well, it's planning to go back here, and that is from Peepo Noob. Does he have SMD? Yes he does. Is it loaded? Yes it is. So I don't think he's scouted that. Well, he has scouted it, and he's completely missed the range of that, because that nuke is not going to get through. Easily covered. Maybe he hasn't seen that and is trying to skip the edge of this one. Yeah, that looks kind of likely. I think he was trying to skirt that one but it's not going to reach through. This SMD is very much alive and covering. So air has been lost. 3 Fat Boys and 2 GCs have died for very little gain. T3 artillery is still alive from Puck Jr. It is doing its worst. A second one's being built up. And well, here goes the air. And here come the strats. They are going for that nuke launcher. They don't want it to survive. Boom! I think they've just basically killed everything there. That was another air grid. That was the nuke launcher. And that is Peepo Noob. Control K's himself out of the game. And not just Control K's himself, but his entire base as well. So he says, fuck full share. Control K's and doesn't even let his teammates fight on by doing that. And now the strats have turned around. They are going for Darunda. He's got like 1 Cougar on the ground to take care of those. Field's going to drop any second now. Combine the T3 RD from Puck Jr. with the strats and the whalers coming on in, and this is going to be Darunda down. Absolutely hammered. Just a straight out collapse at the end. And this is Megavirus trying to get heavy shield on his comm. Isn't going to make a difference because the whaler's going to say hello, and the strats are going to join them pretty much straight after. Last man standing.